All right, here we go. So we're going to be playing Dark Magician with Primites, Fiendsmith, and the Bestials in this deck. And we're going against a Centurion or Centurion deck. And he's going to start off with Red Eyes Dark Dragoon and then two back rows, which more than likely are going to be impermanents. Most of the time when you see back rows in decks, usually it's impermanents. Two of them I can play through with this particular deck right here. So the first one he activates is an impermanence, and I'm just baiting these out at this point. All I really care about is him activating Dragoon. Once he activates Dragoon, I know that his back row he can't negate anymore, or that he's like out of options once he activates the Dragoon. Most people do. So I'm going to go into Fiendsmith Requiem right here. This is going to force his last negate. Now, I use the souls to bait out that second impermanence. And so now we're going to go Bestial Magnamut. Magnamut's going to banish the Dark Magician. We're going to summon the Bestial Lebellion over the Magnamut. And then this is also going to give me another body. So at this point, all we're doing is just trying to make it to our next turn. That's it. We're also going to clear out his Dragoon because, like a fool, I know he's going to play into Nibiru. Most players that play like him do. So that's all. Now, if he was smart right here, what he should have done was he shouldn't have negated this card, Brandy Regained. Instead of negating Brandy Regained, he knows what I have. So what he should have done is he should have read Regained and saw what it does. That once he normal summons a monster, I can target a Bestial in my graveyard. He should have known that this Bestial right here, Bestial Magnamut, all it's going to do is add a card in the end phase. What he should have done was allowed it to come back, hit the field, then popped it with Red Eyes Black Dragoon, and then negated the Bestial Druid's Worm that's in my hand with its Omni Negate, instead of using it on Bestial Regained. That would have left me with no monsters on the field. I would have lost 2,500 life points. This card would have gotten boosted to 4,000. He could attack for game, and then that would have been the end of story. But because he's not a big brain player, he's kind of a dummy. He doesn't think like that. He thinks negate the first thing that happens, and then I win the game. It's my turn, whatever. He's an idiot. He's not that smart. But it's okay. So then we're going to go, he pops the Regained right here, sets his Centurion, and then of course he does exactly what I need him to do, is play right into Nibiru. Nibiru would not have been a factor if he had done what I was saying. But because he's not that smart, he's playing into Nibiru like an idiot. He pops my cards. I don't really care. I got one more summon. And he can't stop it because he's already used his Omni Negate. One more summon and I'll be able to drop Nibiru on his head. So I'm just letting him make his Centurion plays to get to where he can't do any more summons. And then I'm going to Nibiru his ass. And there it is. Just like that. Drop the Nibiru on him. And then let's see what I draw. The perfect card. Draw right into Primite Dragon. This is GG's. I won no matter what he does. I'm pretty much going to win this game. And he didn't even know it yet. He thinks that he's going to be able to cook me. But he doesn't know what I have in my hand. So we're going to go Magician Souls right here to send the Dark Magician card. And then we're going to go Lordy Load right here. Grab Drill Beam. Summon Dark Magician from my deck to the field, so we can get that Drill Beam live. I banished that back row so he can't do anything else. We're just going to attack to get the Centurion off the field, and then we are going to create a monster that's going to deal with this token right here. So we're going to go into Hieratic Seals because the Primite Drill Beam can't get rid of the token because it has to banish it. So we are going to then go ahead and clear that token. All he's got is this Centurion monster right here. We got a Bestial on the field. So if he goes into his extra deck, for whatever reason, we can clear that extra deck monster with Baldrake. And we are going to set up some future plays right here. And look at that. He bounces. Giddy up. All right. Let's go into another match. All right. Here we go. So Here's the next match, and here's another dumbass player that's not that smart, so we're gonna outplay him as well. So we're gonna go Bistrio Regained right here. We're gonna go Fiendsmith Engraver, and then we are going to activate Tract right here. Now my opponent is going to chain Maxi to my Tract, but this card doesn't say anything about special summoning a monster, does it? You see anything on there that says anything about special summoning a monster? Well, it does on the second effect, but that first effect that's activated, that says add one Light Fiend monster to your deck, from your deck to your hand, and then discard a card. That does not say that I'm activating a effect to special summon. So that Maxi that he just activated right there, and I got Primite in my hand. Let's see what happens. We are going to grab a Engraver. We're not grabbing that monster that you discard and summons. No, we're not doing that. We're going to go Lordly Load right here to grab Drill Beam. And Mike, you're going to give him a summon. You're going to give him a summon when you summon the Dark Magician off of Lordly Load. That's going to give him a not a summon, but a draw when you special summon that Dark Magician. Well, I got something for that too. We are not grabbing a Dark Magician to put on the field. We're putting one in our hand off of Illusion of Chaos. Then we're going to put that Drill Beam on the field right there. Just like that. Just like that. No draws off your Maxi. Your Maxi's cooked. You didn't get a single card, and you were going to be playing with a smaller hand, all because you want to activate Maxi without waiting. If he had waited and chained it to the monster that mandatory summons, if he had waited until I drew that monster, so if he had waited until I drew the mandatory summoning monster, this card right here, Fable Lurie, this card automatically goes onto the field. If he waited until I grabbed this, then discarded it, and then chained Maxi to this, he would have gotten a draw. And then at that point, I would have had to play into his Maxi, because there's no way I'm leaving Fable Lurie on the field. He would have gotten 2 draws, because I would have then put Fable Lurie on the field, and then after Fable Lurie, the very next effect I would have did was went into Fiendsmith Requiem, and then I would have just ended my turn right there. Like, that would have been it. I mean, I still would have gotten the Primate on the field, but he would have gotten 2 card draws off of his Maxi. He got no value because he activated it too soon like a fucking idiot. But yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed that video. This video of me kind of showing like how good this deck is. It's a 60 card deck, and I love it. Been having some fun with it. But if you guys like it, here's the deck list for it. I've been cooking. Oh yeah, and I got some board breakers in here. I got some evenly matched, which I don't draw into too much. I got some Primite Drill Beams, which people do not like playing against Primite Drill Beam. I run 2 because I've had this card get Drill Beam before by someone else. So 2 just kind of helps with that. Also, this deck is really good for recursion and follow-up. Like, this deck is one of those decks that's like, when you need plays for the next turn, this deck does that. For one, you have a recurring Primite engine that keeps coming back and giving you plays for follow-up. You have Fiendsmith cards that gives you plays for follow-up. You have layered interruptions, which both of those 2 engines give you those layered interruptions. When I say layered interruptions, I mean like they're not monster interruptions. Like, one of the problems with some decks is a lot of the like bosses and monsters that you put up, they're monster interruptions, and that's what makes the decks hard to play and navigate, and like that's what makes it to where people can just beat your deck, because one Dark Ruler no more deals with whatever monster negate you got, and then they could just do whatever, play however they want to play. But this particular deck right here has back row interruptions. It has graveyard interruptions. It has interruptions from your hand. It has recursion that happens in the graveyard. Like, there's so many different interruptions, and there's so much that they have to deal with, and they can all kind of like venture off in whatever direction that I need. So basically I can big brain play these decks and beat them. So they have multiple things they have to try to stop. I'll give you an example. So in the first game, I could have went either way. I could have went Primite and into the monster that eventually ended up causing his demise, which I ended up going into where is it? Hieratic Seals, and I also went into Moon of the Closed Heavens. Those lead me into two completely different engines. Moon of the Closed Heavens can get me to my Fiendsmith engine. Hieratic Seals can actually get me into my Primite engine. So if I wanted to, even if I didn't draw the Primite, which I did ended up drawing into the Primite, but even if I didn't, what I could summon off of what I could actually summon off of the Hieratic Seals is the Primite monster. Once that Primite monster hits the field, it doesn't get its effect, but it's on the field now. And all I have to do is have a Dark Magician on the field or in the graveyard for it to recur back. And this is a Dark Magician deck. So cards like Magician Souls can get Dark Magician into the graveyard, which will then start recurring my Primite engine off of Magician Souls. There's Illusion of Chaos, which can get me to Magician Souls. There's Preparation, which can get me to Illusion of Chaos, which can get me to Magician Souls. This card right here, Molosseum of White, this can get me to it. And that's the thing about this particular deck that I also like too, is even if I can't use Magician Souls, if I can get to the Molosseum, this right here of White, something like just normal summoning Effect Veiler and then going into that Molosseum can actually get me a Dark Magician in the graveyard. So any way that I can think of, even Primite stuff, like I can make Primite plays and it can get a Dark Magician in the grave. So if this card is still on the field and I want to recur it and I need to get to that, I could literally just link that Primite off for this card right here, Spirit with the Eyes of Blue. And then once I do that, of course I can send the Dark Magician to the graveyard, and then after that it'll start recurring. Of course I would have to pass a turn up, but there are ways of me being able to get this card off the field if I need to. If I need to just attack into something that they have just to clear this card, so I'm not locked into its effect, I can do that as well. It's just all about being smart and knowing what to do and how to make the plays that you need to make. But yeah, so hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. I know it's been a little long on the back end, but hey, just want to kind of showcase the deck and talk about it.